José Martí was born on January 28, 1853 in Havana, Cuba. He was the son of Spanish immigrants, and from a very young age, he showed a deep interest in learning. José Martí was a very curious boy, always asking questions and reading books. His family did not have a lot of money, but his parents always encouraged him to learn. Martí loved reading poetry, history, and literature. He especially admired the works of great writers and thinkers from around the world. When José Martí was a child, Cuba was under Spanish rule. The Cuban people had no freedom. The Spanish government controlled everything, and many Cubans were forced to work hard for little pay. There were also many unfair laws, and people did not have the right to express their opinions freely. Martí felt that this was wrong, and as he grew older, he became more determined to fight for his country's freedom. José Martí went to school in Cuba, where he showed great promise as a student. He was very smart, and his teachers noticed that he had a special talent for writing. At the age of 16, Martí began to write essays and poems about the struggles of the Cuban people. In his writings, he spoke out against Spanish rule and called for independence. Martí believed that the Cuban people should be free to govern themselves and make their own decisions. However, because of his writings, José Martí was arrested by the Spanish authorities when he was just 16 years old. He was sent to prison for his ideas, but he never gave up. After serving time in prison, he was exiled from Cuba and sent to Spain. Although he was far from his home, Martí did not stop fighting for Cuban independence. He continued to write and speak out about the need for freedom, and his ideas spread to many people in Cuba and other countries. During his time in Spain, Martí studied law and became even more interested in politics. He also traveled to other countries, such as Mexico and the United States. Everywhere he went, Martí spoke about the importance of Cuban independence. He made many friends who shared his dream of a free Cuba. Over the years, he built a network of supporters who believed in his vision. In 1892, Martí returned to the United States, where he continued to organize people to fight for Cuba's freedom. He worked tirelessly to raise awareness about the struggles of the Cuban people. In that same year, he helped create the Cuban Revolutionary Party. This group was dedicated to the idea of Cuban independence. Martí became the leader of the party, and he encouraged many people to join the revolution. One of the most important things Martí did was to bring together people from different parts of Cuba, the United States, and other countries to fight against the Spanish. Martí knew that Cuban independence could only be achieved if all the people of Cuba worked together. He believed that unity was the key to victory, and he was determined to make that happen. In addition to his work as a political leader, José Martí was also a talented writer and poet. He wrote many essays, articles, and books. Some of his works were about politics, while others were about the beauty of Cuba and the importance of love, friendship, and family. One of his most famous poems, multiplied by versos sencillos, multiplied by simple verses, describes Martí's love for his country and his dreams for a better future. In the poem, he talks about the simple things in life that bring him joy, like nature and friendship, but he also expresses his deep desire for a free and independent Cuba. Martí believed that education was one of the most important tools for creating a better society. He worked to promote education in Cuba, and wanted to make sure that all children had the opportunity to learn. He believed that education could help people become better citizens and more responsible members of society. Martí also believed that the fight for independence should not be just about politics. It should also be about creating a better, more just society where everyone could have equal rights and opportunities. Despite all the challenges he faced, José Martí never gave up on his dream of a free Cuba. He continued to work with other leaders of the Cuban Revolution to prepare for the day when they would rise up against the Spanish rulers. Martí wrote many letters, speeches, and articles to inspire the Cuban people and give them hope. He believed that, even though the fight for freedom was difficult, it was worth it because Cuba's future depended on it. In 1895, the Cuban Revolution finally began. Martí traveled to Cuba to join the fight, even though he knew that it would be dangerous. He believed that the revolution was the only way to achieve the freedom that the Cuban people deserved. On May 19, 1895, Martí died in battle while fighting for Cuban independence. He was only 42 years old. His death was a huge loss, but his ideas and his vision for Cuba continued to inspire those who fought after him. José Martí did not live to see the victory of the Cuban Revolution. However, his words and his actions were a key part of the movement that led to Cuba's independence. In 1898, just 3 years after Martí's death, Cuba became free from Spanish rule. Martí is remembered as one of the most important figures in Cuban history, and his legacy lives on. José Martí's birthday, January 28th, is a national holiday in Cuba. On this day, people remember his contributions to the country's independence and reflect on his ideas of freedom and justice. Martí is known as the apostle of Cuban independence because of his dedication to the cause. In Cuba, statues of José Martí stand in many public places, and schools teach students about his life and his vision for the future. Martí's legacy is not just important for Cuba. His ideas about freedom, justice, and equality have inspired people all over the world. His writings are studied in many countries, and his message continues to encourage those who fight for human rights and social justice. Martí's work shows that even one person can make a big difference if they are passionate and committed to their cause. José Martí's life teaches us many valuable lessons. He showed us that we should never give up on our dreams, no matter how difficult they may seem. He taught us that freedom is something worth fighting for, and that we should always stand up for what is right. Martí's courage, wisdom, and love for his country continue to inspire people today, and his legacy is a reminder that we all have the power to make the world a better place. Through his writings and his actions, José Martí left an unforgettable mark on Cuba and the world. His life was full of struggle and sacrifice, but his hope for a better, freer world never wavered. Martí's dream for a just and independent Cuba came true, and his spirit continues to live on in the hearts of those who value freedom, justice, and the rights of all people.